Hello everyone, this is Judith with another video. I want to go ahead today and talk a little bit about what happens when we are abused as children, right? On various levels. Could be physical abuse, could be emotional abuse, whatever it was, sexual abuse. Then this has consequences for what we believe love is, right? So, and it's kind of a vicious cycle where not only twin flames, but a number of people cannot escape this vicious cycle. But we, twin flames, we are here to show that this is possible, and that even with those adversities in our lives, with those huge injustices in our lives, with all of those experiences, we can still find or rediscover this place of love, of self-love, of love of the divine, of all that is, and of course also the love that we hold for the people in our lives, right? Our twin flame, our family and loved ones, whoever that might be for you. And yeah, we came here to be those loving and joyful beings that are creating, spewing this forth, right? This love and the joy, and in this way creating an earth that looks really very different from what we experience right now. So we have experienced all of those adversities in different flavors. Many of us have. Maybe not all of us, but many of us have. And we came here to transform this, right? To transform this and then really broadly make room for other things to be created. We shift our point of creation, right? From being in this victim mode to being in creator mode. And actually, when we are abused, then we learn a number of things in relation to what love means. So when we are like little babies, then usually it's really like we link love, we link life, and maybe peace. And that's it. So in my experience, right, the three big topics in our life. And and when, for example, someone abuses us, this has to do with that this person is guilty, and very often also feeling guilty. And so what we are learning is that love is guilt, right? Someone that is not treating us appropriately and then feeling guilty, this person must love us, right? This must be love. And also the other way around, that we are like maybe creating guilt in our own lives, that we feel guilty. And then of course this is a huge block to true love, but somehow it feels familiar, right? This is what happens with a lot of divine masculines, in fact, that they come from this weird place of guilt, and they very often hold this guilt in their lives. So this comes from childhood, that they have this high-wired this belief system that this is love, which of course it isn't. But they would still like reenact, so to speak, recreate the circumstances for them to experience the specific flavor of abuse, really. Yeah, the feeling behind it is being abused, and what that feels like. This is the familiar thing that they keep creating over and over again. And then even if they want this higher love, even if they want to be with you, even if they want to be with their divine counterpart, then they just can't, right? And same for you, of course. You also, like, for some of you, this is true, that you are stuck in those abusive patterns to recreate this abuse, because you believe that this is love. And for a even smaller part of twin flames, there is this sexual abuse, right? So it's for example, it happens when mothers are breastfeeding, and then at the same time maybe they're like so much in immersed in sexual feelings, and they're really like yeah, they do not have those motherly feelings, really, the motherly love for the baby or this unconditional love, but they are in a lower vibrational love, which is this craving for intimacy, right? Craving for sexuality. Maybe that's what just at that time, around the time of the birth, they fell madly in love or whatever it was. And then they had those intense feelings, and together with the baby, they could not help but enjoy, for example. And of course, there are other kinds of sexual abuse, but this mixture, right, is communicating to the baby that this specific flavor of sexual desire is life, for example. Yeah, when you're very small, you're breastfed, and you're a baby, and you link this to life itself. And then you end up like having lots of different sexual partners, and experiencing this topic as being life. So yeah, that's for example something that could lead to your divine masculine, like having a lot of different partners throughout his life, right? It can become a kind of an addiction, of course, as well. But there is a big block behind this in childhood, and we often, with those topics, we tend to blame, right? Because it's also hurtful, right? We do not feel recognized, we do not feel seen, and yeah, and we do not feel desired also, right? By our men, by our divine counterparts, by our divine masculines, right? And of course, this could also be a woman, yeah, who holds the divine masculine energy. Yeah, so we usually we ourselves, we stay stuck in this blaming energy, which is not helpful. So first of all, it's good to know this. It's good to know that this is not helpful, right? So even if you do it, that somewhere in the back of your mind, you know, Judith said something about this not being helpful, right? So then you already know. And then when you work through your issues, you will come to a place where you are like non-judgmental, maybe not not in every case, but where you have come to this place where you can feel that it's not appropriate to judge, because everything that you experience is meant for you. So something that comes your way that doesn't feel good, it's still something that you yourself, you have created that, right? Because otherwise it would not be in your face. So then what is it? Is God so mean to show you something that you don't like? No, for sure not. Everything is really, in truth, is perfect. It's so perfect that you are always shown what you really need to know at that moment in time in order to take the next step. And if you miss out on it, then for sure the same thing will be presented to you again. You might have recognized this over the course of your life, right? That the same things come up over and over. With different people, you have the same bad experiences, right? Whatever it is, being taken advantage of, being betrayed, whatever, right? Because you have to see something here, right? The divine wants to bring you to a place where you can see, okay, that's for me, because I am meant to align with the solution here, not with the problem, right? So and this goes for our divine counterparts as well. And so it's very helpful for us to also always see the triggers as something that is helpful for us and for the other one, right? The other one has issues, just as everyone, right? Everyone in our lives. And we could choose, first and foremost, of course, to work on our issues. And then when we feel called to do something for someone else, then we can, in highest good and under the law of grace, also ask for things to be done on behalf of other people, right? But I would say to start with yourself is always a good idea. And you can also be sure that if there is something, an issue there for your divine counterpart, like being caught up in a kind of addiction or in a kind of codependency that was caused by this abuse, then same for you, right? The story might look a little bit different, but the feeling, right? The feeling is the same. So you both might be caught up in circumstances that do not feel good, but they feel familiar. And it is what you tend to go back to and what you tend to stay in. So for your divine counterpart, this might be showing up with other partners, for example. And for you, this might show up in a whole different way. For you, this might show up with other people, for example, or it might show up with work, right? So if your divine counterpart has an issue with love, let's say, then you might have an issue with mission. And of course, it's not black and white, right? We all have some of all. But yeah, just to show you, it doesn't have to show up in the same way, right? So yeah, you see, there's a lot of work, and the more we transform, the more we clear, the more we gain clarity, and the more we come to this epiphany that everything is for us in divine perfection. It's shown in divine perfection, and that's once we realize this, then there is big joy, right? Because that's yeah. I am very grateful for this, to be so clear at times and to show up so perfectly orchestrated, and it makes me feel very loved by the universe, and I want to show you that this goes for all of us. Yeah, so if you want to work with me, please send me an email. You receive my offers. And I've created a free webinar if you want to start to clear the energy for you and your twin flame, which I recommend to do on a daily basis. Then you can click on the link below and I'll send you the webinar. Yeah, that's all for today. Have a beautiful day, and I see you in the next video. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.